Welcome to Impact Wrestling. We got a lot of content in this show. 16 days before Victory Road. The question is going to be, what exactly are we building into? Now, you're going to say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? We're building into Victory Road. No, we are building into Bound for Glory, hopefully, because that's October 23rd. Victory Road is not much. Yes, it's going to give us something, but this needs to lead to Bound for Glory. We need to start building now. We really do. So I'm hoping that what we're getting here for the next 16 days leading into Victory Road, and then after that leading into Bound for Glory, we will have something. I'm not going to cover everything, because I usually do, but this time I'm going to try not to. Hopefully you like it. I'm just saying. Opening match. Makes no sense. Now, mind you, there was nothing wrong with the match quality. The match story made no sense. You got a mixed tag of Tennille, the Caleb, the Madison, versus the... what are we really doing with Taylor Wilde dealing with Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering? What? What, guys? There's no story. The problem here for me, now anybody else will be fine with the match quality. The match quality wasn't bad. Mixed tags can go well if there's a good story behind it. They can also go well even if there's not a good story behind it. Here, Caleb did a good job because this is what it's all about. Caleb is the only guy there and he had to take the bumps. That's what it comes down to, generally speaking. Now, of course, the face is won here. I don't need to talk about how heavy the match quality was when it came to Taylor Wilde. Taylor made most of that match. It was about her. But what does this really give us? Please, someone tell me, what does this give us? Because Taylor Wilde was not presented properly. She disappeared for 2 months because of COVID. They did not bring her back stating that someone interfered with her trying to come back. Because that's what this is all about. Some reason at the border, someone informed the Border Patrol or the people on either side of the Border Patrol that she was suspicious. They kept her locked up all this time. She doesn't state when she came back by attacking Caleb or attacking Tennille. Tennille dropped a possible hint that this is what it's about, but then it takes 2 to 3 weeks, I think it was almost 3 weeks, before we find out the reasoning why. She doesn't attack either one of them when she should have. We didn't get that. Then we should have got an interview after the attack. And then that she wants a match against either one of them, and Tennille's trying to block it. And eventually, Scott D'Amore lets Caleb go, get his ass whooped. Then it's Tennille getting a butt whooped. And then both of them, if they have to, could get their butt whooped with a partner of her choosing. That makes better sense, doesn't it, than what we've been getting? I'm just saying. Now, we get, which made me very happy, a Empower and NWA 73 video segment. We got it. This is what I've always talked about. We need to see what's going to be built up for our wrestlers. And I say it again, it doesn't have to be pay-per-view. Here it's a good thing to get snippets of it, but I'm talking about regular shows, regular episodes of either New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, NWA. I don't care. Show us something. If there's a match that is highly important to go with our story of our brand, Impact Wrestling, show it. Devote 10 minutes to it if it's an important story that is going to help Impact Wrestling. And if anybody says it's not allowed, you can't do that, bullshit. Sorry, you ain't getting away with it with me. Because they used to do that in Impact Wrestling a while ago. So we see that this is a build-up for Mickie James dealing with a Dana Purrazzo. Now, Matthew Rinwald was there, putting himself over, saying, you know what, I see you. I see you, Trey. And I'm going to make sure you pay for it. And then we get the queen next to her king, pretty much saying, look, I didn't lose nothing doing what I did in NWA 73. I didn't lose nothing. I won my match at Empower, and I made definitely sure that Mickey understands who she's truly dealing with. Because she thought she was going to nail me with Melina, she did not. This is me showing her that no one can outperform me. That's what this is about. Building up a story between Mickie James and Dana Purrazzo. My wish, I know this is a long time, a long story, but I would like this to happen at Bound for Glory, not Victory Road. If it happened at Victory Road, it feels like a lost opportunity. Now, mind you, it's not up to me. It's going to be up to Billy, and it's going to be up to whoever's running in Impact Wrestling. That's just me, guys, hidden below. Now, we get Su Yung with... they're in my face, all three of them. Su Yung, Kimberly, and Brandy... I forgot her last name. Beret? I forgot her name. Sorry, it's been a while. I only seen her once with her new name. But now, Sue is building up her new Undead Bride army. We may get one more woman with him. Well, here's the thing. If you're going to make this equality with the Undead Brides, we need an Undead Groom. I'm just saying. If they're doing a lot of mixed matches, showing men and women working together, put an Undead Groom in there. Put someone in there you wouldn't expect. Somebody. I'm just saying. Now, there is something I need to bring up. Now, I don't know if I'm going to leave a timestamp with this. I may not. But I have to say this as someone who understands better than anyone what happened with Daphne, who used to be part of Impact Wrestling, TNA at the time, and worked in WCW. She's now passed away. She committed suicide. Now, I'm not that type of person that's going to be politically correct and use proper nouns or verbs. She committed suicide. That's what this is about. She committed it. She did it. She couldn't handle what's going on and took her life. Now, I did hear a little bit of what had happened, that she went on Instagram. She had said she bought a weapon to take her, well, not to say she was going to take her life with it, but she said she bought the weapon. I believe it was a gun. The key of this is incredibly simple. It is horrid to see someone die. As I've said myself, at one point, many, many moons ago, I almost committed suicide because of such a bad marriage and a bad situation. I was given a gift by the Great Spirit and my ancestors not to die. And I felt like shit afterward, feeling that I was a loser and worse, that I was a pussy for not doing it. And I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't be here in front of all of you. And it just hurts to see someone end that way. We don't need to be politically correct to make other people feel more comfortable with that word. Because this word doesn't make a person who's suffering from frustration, reaching a point to want to do that, that's not going to make them feel better using another word, self-deletion. I believe that's what Just Alex said when he did his video. It doesn't make a difference. They're not going to care about that. This is just for the regular people who don't have that kind of feeling. And by you wanting it like that, you're the bitches. And I'm saying this to my subscribers, as well as anyone who is not. Don't be politically correct. As a person who almost committed suicide and came this close to being gone by jumping off of a parapet where the Metro North was going to go, and I could have died 100 feet down and died. I don't want to hear someone say, you need to be politically correct and not say suicide. Say what it is. And if you know someone is having problems, talk to them. I know when it comes down to it, it's hard to get through to someone who's in that mindset. But as they say, if you don't succeed the first time, try again, 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 and again. Do not quit if you know they have some type of problem and they look like something's wrong with them. Do not quit. Annoy the crap out of them if it's necessary to keep them alive and get them the help they need. Don't think, well, I've tried a couple of times and they died. I did all I could. No. Just keep trying. Drive them insane if you have to save their life. Because when it comes down to it, when it's over, it's over. Now, I'm sorry I took so long with that. I thought I should say it as someone who's gone through it. Now, Ziggy Dice showed up on Impact Wrestling. I know one of my subscribers said, I cannot wait for Ziggy Dice. Oh, I cannot wait for Ziggy Dice. He's going to be doing something crazy with John Swinger in Swinger's Palace. And I will bring up Swinger's Palace when it comes to Fallah Bahh, TJ Perkins, and the No Way. But you got Ziggy Dice appearing on some type of mini a mini Tough Enough that is run by Brian Myers. He was going through everyone to see who would be his next protege to go with his little boy right now, his little young boy of a Sam who's trying to feel like I'm the first one that is up his teachings. You will do as I say. That's what it kind of feels like is going to happen. That when Ziggy's part of this, that Sam is going to try and be a big man with Ziggy because he's been studying and learning so much from a Brian Myers. He went through several people before he's now with Leonard Lemon and the Ziggy Dice, who's wearing pink, who looks just like he did in NWA. Now, I never have a problem with Ziggy Dice. Never. I thought that he was a dick. He's still a dick. And that shows he's a good heel. Now, one thing that was interesting that Brian Myers said, so how long you been working, kid? He said, 34 years. Said, I've never seen you work. Well, I've never seen you work. And when he's about to cut him, Sam says, no. Don't cut him. If you cut him, we only got one alternate. And this name is, what is it? Leonard Lemon. You want that? He says, no. I'll see you guys next week. So we're going to see how far they're going to go with Leonard Lemon and how far they're going to go with Ziggy Dice. You know where they're going to go with Ziggy Dice. There's no way I don't see Leonard Lemon ain't getting nowhere. It is all about Ziggy Dice. Now, we had a match of Decay versus I don't know what they're calling themselves. What are they calling themselves? Now, the influencers kind of make sense when it comes to the Caleb, the Tennille, and the Madison Rain. That makes sense. But what do Fallah Bahh and No Way call themselves? I don't think they call themselves anything. And then we got Decay, who in this entire match was more over than No Way or Fallah Bahh. Now, of course, before the match happened, you got the Tasha Steelz attacking a Rosemary, and then she also makes sure that I think Savannah Evans, or Sienna Evans, oh no, not Sienna, Savannah Evans, there you go, Savannah Evans attacks also a Havoc. They want their titles. I'm alright with it, but I kind of wished they would have a more better segment in the back, that it didn't have to combine the two. That just makes it feel like the match really didn't mean anything because this is just throwaway. Now, of course, Decay won. But here's the interesting thing. Got Fallah Bahh in the back with TJ. And he's looking at him saying, oh, what are you doing? He says, I needed a partner. And TJ's got the broom. And he's going like, oh, really? And they do their hand thing and they're saying they're cool. But then he's going to find out if a No Way is cool. And he saw he's cool. But now, I want to go to Swinger's Palace. And Fallah Bahh says, dude, I don't want to do that. You know I got a gambling edition. He said, no, don't worry. I got it covered. There's some good odds on something. I got it covered. Don't worry. I'll be dealing with it. And then they follow him dancing. The question is going to be, what is this all about? What is his deal? Or odds on what? Is it on him trying to get the X Division title back? What? That's a big question. Okay. We had, what is it? How would I describe Macklin? Stephen Macklin wants to kill a Petey Williams because of his interference in his match. Now next week they're going to have a very rough match. I don't remember if there's a stip or not. I don't think there is. I would kind of wish there was a stipulation and it would be done over in Victory Road. That would make it more interesting. But you guys tell me below if you believe it needs to be anything. Just a squash. Because I don't think it's going to be a squash because I don't see Petey Williams jobbing easily. Now, the match that has also no story behind it, just like the first match, that is Shira and Raju versus Chelsea and Matt. There's barely any story behind it. Just throwing water on to Chelsea is not enough. It is not enough. They needed to build into it that he threw water on, he had an attitude, he'd walk away, and then they would do something over the next couple of weeks to make it really apparent that he has no respect for Chelsea or no respect for a Matt. But they went it like this, trying to make it so important that Shira was a little bit of a focus, that he wouldn't hit a woman. And in this match, she smacked the living taste out of his mouth a couple of times, and also smacked the taste out of a Raju a couple of times as well. But we get equality. I don't think I got a shot of it in my face where pretty much Chelsea took a high knee to the face. A knee strike. Knocked her ass out and she loses the match. Now the question is going to be this, and this is where this could be going. Going away from where Chelsea was disrespected with water being thrown in her face and going away from Shira not wanting to hit a woman, is this how they're going to bring back the hot mess of a Chelsea Green like a Laura Van Ness? Because she's already doing it on NWA. Will she do it on Impact Wrestling? That is the question. You guys tell me below, baby. Let's see here. The Moose Macklin. The Moose, Morrissey, and the Eddie Edwards. No Sami Callihan. I think I got Macklin mixed up with Moose because, Moose, and when it came to Morrissey because it's all M. That's a lot of M's to remember. But they trying to make this very important. That Morrissey was having an interview. You see Moose get in his face and say, look, I don't like you. I know you don't like me. But I agree with you. And before that, Morrissey's saying that he don't give a damn about Eddie or Sammy, but he does respect them enough to know that they don't like each other. That's one thing he respects, that they're being honest. And Moose makes it like that. He makes it very clear. I don't like you, you don't like me. But we have a common interest. We got two people that are in our sides, and I want them gone like you want them gone. But don't get it twisted. I don't care about you. I will destroy you. I will do whatever it takes to get what I want. And you know what I want. I want them gone, just like you. So when the segment of Moose after that happened, he called out Eddie, who came with a kendo stick, got his butt kicked. Then you got Morrissey coming out, kicking his butt a little bit more. Now, there was no Sami Callihan because Sammy's not going to come out because Eddie didn't want him there. But it is obviously our couple will come together because it is obvious they're going to let these four guys work in a tag match. Now, here's the question. Will you see the Towers? Because I believe it was D'Lo Brown. He's so low, we don't know what to do with his ass. He's the one that said that these Towers are going to could destroy anything if they choose to. That could be the name, and that's if they're going to pair them together. Because honestly, they need more tag teams in the tag division. They don't got enough. They don't got enough. They just don't. Because if Sammy and Eddie are going to work together, you know those two have to work together and let them work in the tag division because they're not doing anything. They're floating. And I'll say it again. They're not doing nothing with them. They're floating. Give them something to do. Like I always said, you don't need to be relevant in the top title picture or the mid-card where the X Division title is. You can be relevant anywhere as long as you get a good story. Now, we had the open exhibition for the X Division and the Josh Alexander, who went up against and you see my face, a returning Jake Chris. We're not getting OVE back, but Jake Chris didn't look too bad. He looked like he was in good shape. He looked like he lost weight. Had a good match, and he got his butt whooped. But here's interest. This is where it gets interesting. You got, and I kind of wish it wouldn't happen now, but I'm not surprised they're doing it. The Chris Sabin coming out after it was over. After the interview was done, and Sabin came out, he said very clearly, I respect you. I'm a fan of you. You've done an incredible job, and you've never gone up against someone like me who hasn't won the title not once, but 8 times. Take me on. Try me. But think carefully before you agree, because not only will you be beating a pure legend in the X Division, if you lose, counting if you win, you will be beating a true legend of the X Division, one of the best to ever been. But if you lose, I will be the first 9-time X Division champion. So, there is actual stakes. If Josh wins, he beats the greatest of any of the legends in the X Division. If he loses to a legend who now becomes a 9-time champ. Now, it's not a very strong story, but who says it has to be? At least it is a story that we can agree to. That the X Division is being spotlighted. Josh is being spotlighted with a legend in the X Division since its very conception. I'm just saying. Now, I don't really want to say much about Rhino because I don't know how far they're going to go with his beatings and his cleansing. So I'm just mentioning it. I'm going to leave it for next week. When it comes to the Good Brothers versus Willie and Rich, I'm really going to leave that for next week because I want to see what's going to happen when Willie Mack, if he comes back at that point, because they said he was out because they basically nailed his ass. I know I could talk about how Rich came out and attacked, but I'm going to leave it for next week because I truly want to watch and see how they're going to develop this. Finally, if I'm forgetting something, I'm sorry. You had the match that had a kind of a stipulation on it. Tommy versus Ace Austin. If Tommy wins, Ace loses just a singles match against Christian, and now Tommy gets his shot at the world title against Christian, who he's always known, cared, and loved and everything. They had the little banter beforehand. I'm not going to put the picture in, but here's the thing. Was this a good match? Tommy can do matches to a certain extent, as long as it's not fast-paced. And unfortunately with Ace Austin, he is a fast-paced wrestler, but he has learned to slow down in the last couple of years when it is necessary, not to deal with older wrestlers, but to tell a better story. Now, I'm not saying that he's perfect at it, but he has learned to slow down. He has. Not saying it's a lot. And he won his match. Here's the thing. You guys tell me below if you agree with me or not, that seeing Tommy going up against against Christian sounds more compelling compared to Ace going up against Christian. Because yes, he gets a shot at becoming champion and will be one of the youngest that it's been in the company's history. But he has not been built properly. He has no real interest other than working with Madman Fulton, and they really never did anything with them. Not really. It's not like they won the titles much, if they ever did. I don't even remember if they ever did win the titles. They've been in really meaningless feuds, doing nothing, and it's mostly been Ace who's been in the meaningless feud, not Madman Fulton, who's just been a tag-along. And that's upsetting to me that he reminds me of Killer Cross. Not Karrion Kross, Killer, who basically before he got injured was doing nothing. So another big guy has basically, and I even said this once he started working with Ace, more than a year ago, way more than a year ago, that when he's with him, he will be doing nothing. And everyone said, oh, no, no, no. He's going to be doing great stuff since he left OVE. Nope. He's doing exactly the same thing that has been over a year. Well over a year. The same thing. He's floating, not doing anything substantial except being muscle. So for me, seeing Ace like this, do you care about Ace being in the main title scene? Or maybe this will be the title. Do you care about Ace? Honestly, no. Not because I hate him. I actually like Ace Austin. He's a great talent. He does have charisma. Look, may not be the biggest guy. He's got a good physique. He's got great in-ring work. He knows how to tell a story. That means he could be a ring general. He knows how to do it. Like I said, he can slow down enough to work a match that is slow paced to a certain extent. Not saying he does it great, but he can slow down. He's got enough charisma that he can work on the mic. So I'm not saying he's perfect, a full 5-tool guy, but easily he's a 4-tool guy that is decently good to good. But I don't care. Not because I think he's crap. It's because they haven't done anything with him. So I don't care. But do you care about Ace going into the main title scene at Victory Road? Does he actually have this shot? Are you glad he's getting the shot? Honestly, I want to see a story built up with him to go into Bound for Glory. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. And you will see my legit Leia Hurst Gump report tomorrow. It's already been filmed. The thumbnail's been made. I don't know if you're going to like the story I created. I just hope you will. Peace.